Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. They're Long Island's largest rock salt source, and maybe with some winter weather coming soon, it might come in handy along with mag ice pellets and flakes and pelleto and other snow and ice melt products, along with new snow blowers and other supplies you'll need to get through winter's worst, if we ever get winter's worst. 631-756-1125. Nowhere can you find better prices than at Omni, and the website is omnitruevalue.com. Okay, so let's start off by looking at the satellite loop. As we all know too well, we were dealing with gloom and doom, as I like to call it, for the last couple of days. And now we have leftover clouds. There still is quite a bit of moisture. There's actually another low that's coming out from the southern plains and getting ejected east-northeastward toward the Ohio Valley. But this system is going to fall apart because for two reasons. One is we have this big blocking high up to the north that's pressing down. That's going to force this to pass by to our south. We also have a storm system that's going to be developing south of Nova Scotia and dropping slowly southward. And what this does is basically it crowds the atmosphere. There's no room for this low to develop. So much of this moisture, we're going to deal with some of the clouds as we're seeing this afternoon and also on Friday into Friday night. But as far as the moisture is concerned, and there is quite a bit of it, moving through Kentucky and Tennessee, down into southern West Virginia, also into parts of Ohio and Indiana. Most of that is going to just fall apart and pass by to our south. So I'm not thinking we're going to have any precipitation issues here into the first part of Sunday. So we've got a nice long stretch here with regards to dry weather. And as far as precipitation goes, the next weather system is going to be for late Sunday night into early Monday. And when we look at WPC's forecast for precip, you see here the liquid amounts anywhere from a tenth to a quarter of an inch. And in the darker green that is setting up in parts of southern New York and into northeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, to about Long Island, there's an area of a quarter of an inch plus, and there's even a little stick of a half an inch jetting back from off the ocean. I don't know how much of that half inch is going to get close, but let's say on average we're looking at about a quarter to maybe a third of an inch of liquid precipitation when it comes to the system for later Sunday. And WPC is also indicating on their longer range forecast for snow. This is for Sunday into Monday. The light green area is a 10 to 30% chance of about 2 to 3 inches. The darker green that you see is a 30 to 50% chance of 2 to 3 inches. And you see that covers the area inside northwest New Jersey, up through the Catskills, and then it points northward and also into northeastern Pennsylvania. The southern flank gets just to about New York City and into the rest of northern New Jersey, mainly along and north of Route 78. So the chances of an accumulating snow in the southern parts of this area are low, but they are not zero. So until then, we are going to be in pretty decent shape here. Again, nothing worse than dealing with just these clouds that will be moving through. If you look at the GFS today, for example, that moisture area to the south begins to shrink. We've got a low there in Iowa, moving some snow into Wisconsin. This is for Friday night into Saturday morning, and that just disappears. And if you look to the right, you see that there's this ocean storm right out here. And again, there's no room. You have this developing ocean storm up to the north, up in here. We've got a very strong high. There is colder air that's going to be bleeding southward on northeast winds starting tonight and taking us through Saturday into Sunday. Now, that high is going to hold, and then here comes the next low that moves out. Again, there's a limited amount of room for this. That ocean storm drops southeastward and pulls away. So I expect this to survive. And in the meantime, you also can see that the high is wedging southward into New Jersey and into northeastern Pennsylvania. So that's going to set up some marginal cold air. We have an upper air feature with this as well that'll be moving through, and that's why we're going for the chance that there could be maybe some rain that changes over to snow in coastal areas Sunday night. Inland, it could be a wet snow, and the possibility that there could be an accumulation out of this. And you see the low by Monday morning is offshore and begins to pull away. After that, it'll be dry and cold to start next week. We've got another stronger storm here in Nebraska on Tuesday night. That's going to bring some widespread severe weather to parts of the lower and middle Mississippi Valley. That low is also, to an extent, going to be blocked. So we'll probably have to wait until late in the week, and then we could get into some precipitation. And one of the keys to this is going to be that block to the north. It's still going to be trying to wedge down some cold air late next week, and this is why you see the GFS actually has a little bit of snow on the front end of this, with a low that's up in northeast Iowa that's dying out, and a secondary low developing in North Carolina that moves on out to the northeast. I mean, ultimately, that probably will wind up being rain at the coast, but that could be a substantial snow and ice event for some areas well inland. But that's, and again, that's all out in the long range. Bottom line is, we'll be watching this system coming in for Sunday. Until then, I think the weather is going to be okay. We'll be in the 40s tomorrow, low 40s on Saturday, upper 30s and low 40s for highs on Sunday. Weather in 5 is brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. 631-756-1125 is the telephone number. The website, omnitruevalue.com. So tune in tonight for the Joe and Joe Weather Show. We'll have all the rest of the afternoon model guidance, and we'll take you through what we expect through the weekend, and we will look ahead in the long range for next week. Have a great rest of your day.